Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for Create with Chris. We are going to be talking about how to use one stencil in not one way, not two ways, but three different ways to get three totally different looks. So it's a great way to utilize one product and diversify the techniques. I think you're going to absolutely love it. I'm going to show you some samples of the pieces that I've done with these different techniques. So stay tuned and we're going to have some fun today. So Lindsay is here with me. We are sweltering in the summer heat. It went from beautiful, comfortable 70-degree weather to sweltering, steamy, hot 90+ weather. So Lindsay is miserable.
I hate summer.
No.
No, I do.
Yes, she does.
Yes, I'm a summer baby, but I do not like it.
I'm enjoying it because my hands are warm.
Yeah.
So I am, yeah.
We have a heat advisory here in Ohio until Thursday evening.
So she's just kind of hiding out in the AC and waiting for this to
And I
pass.
was forced to go outside this morning.
Yeah, she was.
Forced. I was not happy about it. Yeah, but I made it.
We will survive. I'm back from vacation. I was on a really nice, went to the lake last week and had a great time enjoying the lake and the sunshine and just a little bit of downtime. We all need that.
A lot of people are saying. So we've got Leslie from Gulf Coast, Alabama, Stacy from Florida, Nicole from Arizona. Hope she had a wonderful vacation.
Thank you.
Bonnie from hot Oklahoma City.
I think it's hot everywhere.
Anne, who I believe is in West Virginia, says stay cool. Marlene says hello, Chris and Lindsay. Me too, which I'm assuming she hates summer too.
Oh.
Debbie says hello, y'all, from South Georgia, where it's hot as. But yeah, it's yeah, but that's Ohio for you.
It is.
If it wasn't humid, it would be fine. You know, I mean, it's just this humidity is.
It is.
But
even in the shade, it's just kind of like a wet blanket.
yeah, it's just you go outside and you're immediately sweating. It's just, I was literally outside helping Papa John hang something on the building. I was sitting on the forklift doing nothing except moving my arm. And I come in and my shirt is soaked. And I'm like, I wasn't doing anything except sitting there. But it's, yeah, I don't like it. I want it to be fall.
No, not yet.
Yes, I'm ready for fall. Marlene says she does not like summer in Memphis. I was in Memphis in August, I believe, one year, and it was it was steamy.
Yeah, a lot of humidity down there.
Hello, Sharon and Mary and Kathy
Well,
and Lisa from steamy Connecticut.
I guess it's the whole country.
I think everyone's hot and steamy right now. So
it is summer.
all right, let's flip the camera.
Okay.
Started.
Today, this is the Elegant Brocade Collage Stencil. And
Brocade Elegance.
Brocade Elegance.
She had that reversed.
We have a line of collage stencils, and they are just fantastic because they offer so much diversity. If you're looking for something to get a big bang out of your buck, take a peek at these collage stencils. I use them over and over and over. There's so many elements on it that can be pulled out and used independently, or you can use it as is. The possibilities with these collage stencils are just absolutely endless. And I wanted to take this particular stencil. I use it so many different ways. And if you look at my designs, you'll see it repeated quite a few times. And it's often kind of incognito, is that maybe a good word? Just background filler. But I wanted to utilize this and show you the different ways that this can be created to add that really big pop of interest and make it look absolutely fantastic. So this is one of the designs I did a couple years ago. This is Winter Light. And when I did it, it was just kind of empty over here on the left side. So I used this Brocade Elegant stencil to add design over here. And I wanted to show you how easily, because I did not just stencil it, I layered it to add a little more interest and a little more wow factor. So I'm going to show you how I can take this stencil and let's go. I'm just going to anchor that down. I usually anchor my stencil down because I don't want it to shift around and I want to create that look. And I'm just going to take some tape. And if you don't want a certain particular portion of the stencil, cover it up with the tape so that you're not going to stencil where you don't want it to be stenciled. Just want this design part. And I'm going to start out with a deeper, darker color. This is Midnight Green. And I'm using my Spectacular stencil brushes. Hopefully that's loading it in my brush. And I think that's not been mixed up very well. Let me shake that bottle a little bit more. Make sure that if you're using paint that you haven't used for a while, it does separate. I used to always store my paint upside down. Seemed like it was a little easier to mix that. Okay, and I'm just going to wipe it over my paper towel. Removes that excess paint on the tip of the stencil. And I'm just going to lightly swirl this and create that design. And you can see I didn't reload. You can get quite a bit of coverage. I have a light pressure, not pushing hard, not pushing solid. And I get a beautiful design. Now I want to layer this. And I'm going to be going lighter in color. So it's really important to get that dark paint off of the stencil. And just take a little bit of water. It still has not dried, so I can still remove it with a damp paper towel. If it has dried on there, you can use a baby wipe. A lot of times that'll lift it. You just want to make sure that you don't have that dark paint on there because it will. I was using white and I didn't clean my stencil and it just mixed with that dark paint and it ended up being a color like a dirty white.
So while you're lining up, Debbie says, back in the day, I rotated my bottles every few days and it helps. I need to do that again.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does because it makes sure that that paint stays continually mixed. Now I can line it up, but I'm going to bump it up just a smidge and over just a smidge. So I went up and over, and that's going to give me a little bit of edging. And what this ends up looking like, almost, you remember the wallpaper, the layered wallpaper or printed wallpaper that had the layers of color? It gives you that dimension. And it just is very, very impressive. I'm just going to take my stencil brush. I'm working all of that dark paint out of there and getting a little bit of water on my brush to get that out. Now with my Spectacular stencil brushes, I can wash them out and towel dry them and go into the next color. With a bristle stencil brush, it's hard to get those bristles. They soak up the moisture. This is a Taklon, so it's not going to soak that up. Going right into that Laurel.
Debbie says, awesome cleaner and a soft toothbrush works great for stencil cleaning. Rinse and dry between some paper towels. Yeah. When you're done with the stencils, you clean them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You get it at the dollar store. It is great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am going to pounce this because I'm afraid if I swirl it, it might lift that underneath. I should have dried it. Didn't think about that. And I'm just adding color over top of that. It's not going to look like much when you're stenciling it, but when it's lifted, it's going to have just a hint of dimension on it. Look at that. Does that show up well? Can I zoom in?
Zoom in a little bit, yeah. Nope, wrong way. It's a game we like to play here.
Okay, yeah. It's always the wrong way. And you can see how that adds that dimension. It's just a really great way to take a simple stencil and add that pop of wow factor to it. I absolutely love when people say, how did you do that? And I will try it this time. And this looks great. But we're going to do that one more thing. Just going to take and line it up again, bump it up and bump it over. And I can see that little tiny edge, so I can tell where it's at on the surface.
Leslie says it looks like a paste was used, like it's dimensional paste instead of paint. Yeah.
It does. And it's just such an amazing, simple way to add, I keep calling it a wow factor, but it truly is a wow factor. And get that, working that green out of my brush. Going right into Snow White. And we'll just add a little more in there. And I am pouncing again, just because this is fresh paint. If you let it dry well, you could probably swirl over top of it. But again, white is just a little harder to cover. So it always dries just a little bit, not as intense and saturated. Every time I load my brush, I go over here and wipe that excess off. Gives it more of the same coverage all over. And if you're smart, you'll have a start from, I always go from right to left when I stencil. When I paint, I go from left to right, but for some reason, okay, are you ready for this? I need a drum roll. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, it's just absolutely stunning. What a great way to add a feature design quietly in the background or use it as a focal piece. You can add this on a shape just to fill it up and add like a pattern throughout. And I can go down here and repeat because this, I think it goes, I can just line this up and continue the design down like I did on this all the way to the bottom. Just because it is not solid on the stencil does not mean that you can't make it solid on your piece. You just shift it over, line it up, and then keep stenciling it in. But this is such a tremendous look. And it took, how long, Lindsay? Just a few minutes to do that. Most of the time is getting the paint, loading the brush, and letting it dry before you add the next layer. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful way to add that impact, whether you do it all over or just in a section. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm taking a minute just to wipe my stencil off. I want to shift over to do.
Mike says it looks like it took forever to create.
I know. That's your secret. Don't tell anybody anything different. Let them be impressed. When I first did this, it looked like the old 1800s wallpaper. I just thought it was so cool. And always take time to clean your stencil. The thing is, with a stencil that has all these little delicate cutouts, if you let the paint build up, you'll lose that edge and it won't be as clean and crisp as you would like it to be. Okay, I am going to create.
Before you move on, can you show that, zoom out the camera and show that full project so they can see it so they can see, okay, there you go. You can see the whole continuation on the left side of that project. And this is the winter light pattern that features that design.
I think it adds so much. If you take this off, to me, it's just kind of boring. But with that added in, it just adds that look of elegance. It was just a simple way to really fill that in and bring in that other element of design. Okay, next thing I want to show you is same stencil.
Real quick, is the effect best on detailed patterns or stencils with bigger designs? You want me to read that again?
Yeah.
Is the effect best on detailed patterns or stencils with bigger designs?
Oh, it probably depends on what you're painting. You can go like a small design, or with this piece, I could have went with a much larger design. Was that the question?
I think so. Is the effect best on detailed patterns or stencils with bigger designs?
So yeah, you could use a bigger, more simple stencil. It probably depends on, I wanted to keep this kind of subtle and let this big, it's like when you wear clothes that have like plaid, you can put the plaids together, but they have to be different sizes to work. So you don't want it to overwhelm and just be kind of quiet if you're using it in this respect.
Oh, a more open cut stencil is what she said.
Okay. I've done that before with a larger open cut stencil, and it has a lot more presence. It will be a lot more impactful. Okay, same stencil.
And
okay.
Jen says hello from Italy.
Oh, hi, Jen from Italy.
If you don't know, Jen used to work here, and she's on vacation in Italy. So,
and she's been seeing some really beautiful places. Absolutely.
She may not come home.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Okay, this is another design I did. Use the same stencil, and you can see in the background, I added a little bit of that design. But what I wanted to focus on is creating this tablecloth, because when you look at this, you don't really think about using it as a tablecloth. So I'm just going to take that same design, and it does have like a straight edge on it. So I'm just going to let that stencil create that straight edge. Hopefully I've got this straight. Well, I don't want to cover my stencil up. This is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's so pretty. And when I was creating this design, I wanted a tablecloth, and I didn't want to use a whole bunch of different stencils. So this is a great way to show how you can use that one stencil in many different ways. And let me grab just going to grab my painter's palette. Reason I'm using this is because I don't want to mess with tape. I can use this to mask off areas. And I'll just put that down there lightly, swirl. And create that tablecloth. So it doesn't fill the whole area. So this is where I can go in. Just going to take my paper towel and wipe off that excess paint. Probably should do that on a and I can take the stencil, and actually what I'm going to do is just flip it over and line it up. And it's not centered. But that's okay. We're doing this just for So you can see how to create this. Just going to continue that lace design all the way to the edge. Perfect. Should have shifted it over a little bit, but you can see how that creates that look of lace. Over here, I think I'm going to go back. For some reason, I didn't get this little design down here. So that looks really cool, but I wanted it to look like a lace tablecloth. So I'm going to go back in with a little bit of Snow White. And I'm just going to very softly, make sure that's plenty dry. Have a lot of moisture on my brush. I want that paint to move around. I want to create that look of a little bit of a organdy tablecloth. So that design just actually starts to flow and look like a solid piece of fabric. I don't have to have straight edges. I can create my own edges. Same thing at the top. I can create that look like it has a little bit of a fold and not perfectly straight across the top. Looks a little more natural. And we'll just bring that over to the edge. So it has that look. Even that paint out just a little bit. Now you have a very beautiful lace tablecloth. As that white dries, it tones down so it's not as strong and saturated. I can go back with my soft black. And I can pull in a couple of, so it looks like there's a little bit of a fold in that lace. And this is the same color that I used in the background, so I'm not worried about it going off the edge. And if I want to clean those edges up a little bit, I can go in with that soft black, or put, if you have a different color under here, you can add some shading under there to touch those edges up. I don't want my folds to be samey, so I can put one maybe right here. And look how that becomes very, very dimensional. How easy is that? Oh my goodness. You can take any part of the collage stencils and create the look of a lace tablecloth just by putting that wash of color over top. And look how that, adding those folds, oh my goodness, look how that really brings that to life. So we've created that look of 3D background interest, created a more of a main focal piece with that portion of the stencil. And then I can take, and what I did on this is just use this lattice part in the background so that it doesn't compete with the same design that's on the lace. So you can dissect these stencils. It's just so much fun, and there are so many different elements. I love the script work on that, and I did add that in a couple places. All right, so we've got a lace tablecloth, that interesting background. And the next one, I thought, okay, so we've done a background, we've done a main focal piece. It would be fun to show how to use just an overall design. And this is a big piece. This is the 4th of July convertible. And what's nice about this is you get one base and then you can just change the pieces out. So you don't have to worry when it comes to storing it. These all pop off and you can store them flat. Just swap these out. And we've got a whole line of seasonal different designs for this. But on this particular one, I used this same small little collage stencil to fill in the entire background. I wanted this to look a little more vintage. I wanted that continuity of design, but I didn't want it to be the same thing. And again, I didn't want to have to use 4 or 5 different stencils. So this is a great way to diversify the stencil design very, very easily. I'm going to start up here at the top and a little, actually I'm going to make this area just a little bit smaller, just for, so I am going to use this part of the stencil. And we'll take that off. This is a deeper blue. So I'm doing tone on tone. Anytime that you want a very subtle background, if you work tone on tone, it will be just a quiet design. This is deep midnight blue, and I'm just going to stencil that on there. Using the swirl technique, just gives a soft hint of color without being too strong. Now, if I decide I want it to be a little more intense, I can go back and strengthen that. But look at that design. Now down here, it looks like I don't have a lot going on. So I'm just going to go back and line that stencil up, shift it down. I have my little painter's pal here. I'm going to make sure to keep that paint out of that area. So I can just move it around. It brings that design down. And fills that area in. On the other side, because I want it to be basically a little bit symmetrical, I'm going to flip it over. Maybe I need just a tad more paint. I can go in and just and remember, when you flip it over, that gives you a whole new look. So now I've got that same design flipped over. I'm thinking right in here, it's just a little empty, so I can go in, take a portion of that design, fill that in. I have a little design there, and maybe I want to put a little design here. Don't be afraid to just add an element here and there to fill it in, because when you're finished, this is what it's going to look like. So this is background. This is not the main design. So don't be afraid to not have it perfect. That's not always what adds the best interest. In fact, sometimes that little bit of imperfection creates more design and it makes it a little more fun. And you don't have to stress out so much. I'm going to clean this off because I'm going to a lighter color. Definitely don't want to get that all over. And I don't want to pull that dark blue paint into my next application of color. Make sure my stencil is dry. So some of the elements to stenciling, and I know I say this every time I stencil, make sure that your brush is not overloaded. Make sure that you have a light touch. Make sure that your stencil is clean. And make sure your paint is dry. And it's, once it common sense, but you know, if you put wet paint over wet paint, you're going to have kind of a major disaster here. Now on the white stripes, I did not want them to be, I wanted them to be a little bit different. And I thought it would be fun just to do a lattice on the white stripes. So I'm just going to anchor that down. Again, this is tone on tone, so I'm going with a darker color. And move my brush, wipe that excess off, and add just a little dry brush of that lattice design. I can lift it, move it down, line it up. This is probably the biggest challenge. There we go. Keep adding that on there. Keep this just very subtle. And when you get this on here, it's just kind of fascinating because it looks like you have used a totally different stencil. Look at that. And then that is so, I just think that's beautiful. And it doesn't look like everything else. So we've got this design, and what is great about this is it matches this, but it's not the same. So that gives you a little bit of diversity on that total look. You're using the one stencil and creating two totally different looks. Now on this middle section, I used the same stencil. On here, I put the brocade design in the middle and the lattice on the sides. On the middle one, just to give it a little bit of a different look, I put the lattice in the middle and the brocade on the outer edges. So I can go in here and I'll put, let me see here. We'll put the lattice in the middle. And the brocade on the outer edges. Going to be a little, and you can use tape, but I like the painter's pal because I can just hold it and shift it around. It's just really a great way to use the same design to create a beautiful continuity. I'll just flip it over, line that up. A little more. I'm running out of paint here. So it's kind of morphed from the lattice on the outside to the inside, the brocade on the inside to the brocade on the outside. Just a nice shift. It still works, but it's different. So then when I went down to the red stripe, I wanted it to be just the brocade. So I'm just going to line that up. Again, this is tone on tone, and I'm using a darker red. I hope it shows up. My red that I base coated with was a little bit on the light side or dark side. Actually, I could do it with a little bit. And I'm going to wipe some of that out. And I don't want to get that on the white, so I'll just put this over here. Is it going to show? Not really. I need a little bit darker. Actually, I didn't clean my brush, so that's probably a big part of it. Lost my train of thought, Lindsay.
Her train of thought derailed.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I had too much sun last week.
It's the heat.
We can blame the weather.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go a little bit darker here. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to jump into that soft black. Yeah, let's just do that. When I painted the 4th of July plaque, I used wild berry, which was a lot brighter. And this, I think, will actually show. And when I go around, and when I'm finished, I can go down and, yeah, that works. That shows up really well. I'll just line this up. Continue down with the stripe. And now I have a different look for the white stripe. I have a different look for the red stripe. This was the middle section that included both of these elements. And then the top section, I just reversed it. So I use this stencil, like every portion of this stencil, to create this totally different look. Is this show on there, Lindsay, the whole thing?
I'm putting the QR code up too. So.
After I've finished, I go around and shade the edges. Absolutely beautiful. It creates that nice patriotic design without being just plain red and white stripes. Creates a little more interest in the background. The 4th of July stencil is a separate one in the convertible line. But such a fun way to dress it up, add that subtle design, and I think it really ramps it up considerably. It's a beautiful way to incorporate all this design into a project, not let it become overwhelming. So 3 different designs, 1 simple stencil, and this is a small stencil. This is not a big one.
It does come in 2 sizes. So the one that Chris is using is a 6x8, and it is also available in an 8.5 by 10 3/4.
Yes.
But the 6x8 is the one Chris uses the most. But if you go to our website and you click on the collage stencils, you'll see, like, when you go into one, you'll see a drop down. So you can select the sizes. It defaults to the smaller one because it's the lower priced one.
Take a look at the collage stencils. If you want to buy, there's certain tools that you can use for painting or crafting or decorating that you use over and over and over. You get a big bang for your buck out of it. These collage stencils are absolutely beautiful. There's so many different elements on it that can be incorporated into projects so very easily. And they do add that wow factor. And I think so often just adding that one more thing, a little bit of paint makes a big difference. That one more element to just pull it all together is really what makes a big difference. So, do we have any questions? Okay, Well, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Check out all the collage stencils because they are just absolutely stunning. And whenever I'm kind of stumped on a design, I usually go to my collage stencils and kind of peruse through them and see if that one thing will add just that one extra touch that's needed. If the background's too blank, if you're doing a vase and you need, oh golly, would this not be beautiful on like a decoration on a crock or a vase? There's so many different ways that you can use these. I just, absolutely so much fun. And what I think is the best part about using stencils to create these impressive results is the fact that you're going to get just beautiful, perfect lines, beautiful, perfect designs, and it just is gorgeous. Okay. Anything else, Lindsay?
Just a note, we will be closed for the 4th of July holiday Thursday through Sunday, so we can go watch lots of fireworks. And there will not be a live next Tuesday, as Chris will be out of town or on her way back. We're not sure, but we're just not going to do a live next Tuesday just to be safe. There will be a video uploaded, however, on our YouTube channel in lieu of a live. Next month starts Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. Yes. I'm so excited.
So be on the lookout for that. Yeah. So Christmas themed sales, new Christmas designs, Christmas ornament set.
I'm hoping, yes.
Yeah, we're hoping another Christmas ornament set. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be the whole month of July. It'll be Christmas in July. Trying to think what else.
So sit in your studio, crank up the AC, put on the Christmas music, and pretend it's not hot summer.
Oh, yes. And any orders that are placed after 9 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday, July, 1st, tomorrow, won't ship until after the holiday. That's because we have to get them. Our mail pickup is tomorrow afternoon, and we're not going to be here Thursday. So if you're in a rush for it, and choose UPS, because it'll go out tomorrow if it's UPS. I think that's all I have.
Okay.
I think. Someone said, Marta said she would love to see a video on your Bible decorations and how you do them.
My Bible journaling?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been thinking about that. I've gotten a lot of positive response on that. That's kind of my serene play time. And I was a little bit hesitant about doing that, but I've really enjoyed the response that I've received. Thank you very much. So, maybe that's something we need to do.
Linda says, thank you. I don't care how long you have been painting. You can always learn something new.
Oh, there's so many techniques out there. It's never ending. One door opens and you're like, I can do this and this and this and this.
Chris Williams says, good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Marlene says, happy 4th to all. Yes, have a happy 4th.
Yes.
250th 4th of July.
This is a big one this year.
It's a big one.
Yeah. I don't care where you're at in the country, you'll probably be able to see fireworks.
Yeah, I think my family's doing one, and I think we're going to 2 others. Yeah, so.
And it'll probably start Thursday.
It's already started in my neighborhood last week.
Oh.
So, which is not, my German Shepherd is not a fan. But it's 250th.
Yeah, we need to enjoy this. This is once.
I wasn't around for 1976, so.
I told her that was a big one.
We're going to celebrate 2026, so.
Wishing you all a very, very happy 4th of July.
Be safe.
Be safe, yes.
Yes, be safe. No injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we will not be here live next week.
Right.
But I will have a video uploaded so you can still have something to watch and enjoy. And anything else?
We have another yes to the Bible journaling.
Okay, well, Okay.
And then Kathy says, enjoy your holiday. Looking forward to Christmas in July. Chris Williams says, oh, my Lucy Lou hates fireworks. Yeah. It's our big German Shepherd. He just knows.
Well, hopefully the pets will find a safe place to crawl in and huddle until everything settles down.
Yeah, it's never, it's not his favorite week. Let's just say that. So.
Okay, well, thank you again for joining us. And if you have any questions or comments, we always read everything. So be sure to drop a note, drop a line, follow along, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. All right, thank you. Happy 4th. Bye-bye.